Hi, welcome to my 36-week colostrum expressing video update as part of my blog. I've got a blog on antenatal expressing of colostrum, and I decided to record my experience since week 27, which is where I found my body was producing a lot of colostrum naturally. During my second pregnancy, it was completely unexpected. It wasn't something that I thought would ever happen, but I decided to record a lot of information about it and write as much information as I can, as well as researching various topics surrounding colostrum and antenatal expressing and harvesting. Um, so one of the main factors I encountered was that a lot of women and also lactation consultants and general medical advice is very much against expressing colostrum from the third trimester in pregnancy. However, there is one organisation that does advocate it, and that is the Lelesh League. So I have been following their advice since week 27, and it seems to be working absolutely fine for me because I'm a healthy low risk pregnancy and it's my second pregnancy, so I'm much more confident about how I feel, my body. I know what it's going to do, I know what to look out for. And I know there's a lot of other women who are also interested in expressing colostrum and finding out more about it. So I thought what I'll do is I will record my experience in as much detail as I can in my blog. So I have graphs in there, I've got my diary in there, which is basically how much I've expressed each day, how I've expressed, and then how I've been feeling, things I've been eating as well. So it covers quite a lot, and obviously I try and pick a topic, a different one each week to do with colostrum and expressing colostrum, and just to give people a bit more information. So week 36. It's nice that it's gonna be quite soon that we're gonna see our baby girl. But yes, I've been expressing colostrum and storing it for 10 weeks now, so quite a long time. So I've got some stats and some information. So for week 36, I have expressed 69.1 mil of colostrum, which is quite a significant amount, and that is roughly 9.8 mil per day. So that's quite a good amount to be expressing. Generally speaking, if you're just starting out with expressing colostrum, you may only get a mil or two a day, but because I've been doing it for 10 weeks, it's actually built up to quite a nice amount. And to date, I've expressed over 350 mil of colostrum, which is fantastic. My freezer drawer is absolutely full of colostrum, and I'm really pleased that my baby has got all of this that she can have. Plus, my little toddler is now 16 months old, so if he gets sick or ill, I can just add some colostrum into his milk, and the antibodies there will help him fight off whatever it is he may have. Obviously, for that, I would do it from a very recent express, like that day or the day before, just to make sure that the antibodies are there for him. So there's a list of things I wanted to talk about this week, which is why I keep looking down and trying to refer to it. But I probably am not going to get to talk about most of these because some of these things haven't actually happened yet. So so things I've looked at since my last video update be things like donating colostrum. Because I've got so much of it, I've looked into trying to donate a bit to local hospital, to Addenbrooke's, which is based in Cambridge, and to a few other places, milk banks as well, to see if they'll take it. Long story short, if you are trying to donate your colostrum in the UK, really there's only one place you can go, and that's on a particular Facebook group. I will put a link to it in my YouTube comments and in my blog as well. But basically, the hospitals and medical organisations don't really want it because you have to basically have a certain amount, which is about a litre or two at a time, that you want to donate, and then they have to then basically screen it and they may need to pasteurize it as well to kill off any bacteria that could potentially be inside. So it's more complicated than simply giving a bag of colostrum to somebody at the hospital. So yeah, so I looked into that. And then I looked at factors that might influence my supply of colostrum. So I think there's quite a few basic things that are very similar to breast milk, things that influence your breast milk production. And it's very, very closely matched, to be quite honest. There could be things like stress and anxiety, might have quite a negative effect. Diet and exercise, obviously, if you're keeping reasonably active, which I actually am this pregnancy. My first pregnancy, I was not active at all. I basically vegged out on the sofa for most of it, I think. But this pregnancy, obviously, I've got a 16-month-old toddler to look after, so he in himself keeps me very, very active. I think it's got to be a mixture between being active but not too active. So, get out and about during the day. Obviously, you need to have periods of rest. Diets as well. Diets, yeah, have a healthy diet, definitely, but make sure you have fatty things. Make sure you have carbohydrates. I have a particular craving for things like hobnobs, oaty bars, flapjacks, that kind of thing, and also chocolate. I'm very much on the chocolate this pregnancy. So yeah, it's whatever takes your fancy really, but as long as you have a lot of dairy things as well, yogurts, go through the yogurt a lot, cheese, also fish is very good for you, especially fish that's got some bones in it like herring and sardines and things. That's very good. Helps your calcium supply quite a lot. You can also take supplements and tablets. I've tried to remember to take my Prenatal tablets, but it sometimes just slips my mind, so I'll probably take one every few days. It's not essential to do that, but you can do. So yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about was I have touched on are syringes. So I'm still currently using a 1 ml syringe, even though I'm expressing on average 9.8 ml a day. And there's a few reasons for that. First one is finances. If you look at the price of 5 or 10 ml syringe, it's actually more expensive to buy a smaller quantity of those than it is to buy 100 of 1 ml syringes. So when you do the maths, you look at it and think, actually, I might as well just stick with the 1 ml syringes. And yes, they do generate more waste, but you can recycle the syringes because they're not technically classed as sharps because there's no needles in them. So you can put them in household recycling. And depending on the council that you have, they may or may not get recycled. So yes, that's what I've been doing, putting them in the recycling. When I've been using them and giving them to giving my toddler a bit of colostrum when he's been slightly under the weather. So yeah, if I actually stick with the 1 ml syringes, and I tend to bulk buy, because if you use individual syringes, then it's my toddler who's asleep at the minute. He might be able to hear my voice. So yeah, if you use if you bulk buy syringes, then you actually save a lot more money. So I buy mine off Amazon. I buy a pack of 100 at a time, and yes, I might go through 10 a day, sometimes more than that. But then it's less expensive than buying sort of the 5-10 ml syringes basically. And also when baby wants to feed, baby might want to feed might only want sort of 3 or 4 ml at a time, and I don't want to then be defrosting a whole load of colostrum and then reheating it a couple of times throughout the day, 5 or 10 ml syringe. So yeah, stick with 1 ml because then that gives you the most flexibility around baby. So there's not really a massive amount to add into my video blog apart from that we're fine, we're healthy, baby and myself. Obviously the birth is getting quite close. Yes, I've had a couple of pelvic twinges here and there, but that is very normal because that's my muscles reacting to the fact that baby is now gaining ½ pound a week, and I'm probably gaining like 2 or 3 pound a week, but through what I'm eating. But yeah, it's all going very well, and You never know. My first pregnancy, my toddler was 1 day early, so it's pretty much on time. So I'm expecting a similar sort of time frame for this one, just judging by how I'm feeling at the minute. And I'm listening to my body. I think that's the most important thing. I think a lot of women sometimes get a bit sidetracked with what the experts say you must do this, you must do that. But at the end of the day, the best advice I've actually had from other mums who'd been there and done that several times is just to go with your own instinct, go with the flow, and trust in what you feel is right. And if that means going against sort of medical advice, like I have done for colostrum expressing, a lot of people said, oh no, you shouldn't do that, shouldn't do this, shouldn't be expressing, no, your baby's going to fall out at 34 weeks. Well, it's 36 weeks, well, technically 37 now, and I'm still pregnant and everything is still fine. My midwife is very good, she's very experienced, she's taking really good care of me, and I'm a low risk healthy pregnancy. I've been following advice from the Lalesh League as well. They're a credible organisation. They do advocate colostrum expressing from the third trimester, which is technically 26 weeks of pregnancy. So, I've been following their advice from it. And yes, they basically just say talk to the midwife and hand express once a day. So, so hopefully I will be able to do another video blog soon. And depending on time, my updates might get a little bit further apart, but I plan to keep on writing and keep everything up to date, and also try and get my blog out onto other mums forums, and see if I can link to any Facebook pages or other social medias that are out there, because I think it's so important that this subject isn't really talked about, because a lot of people think it's highly controversial because of the risk of preterm labour, but that is for some women, it's not for all women, and nobody talks about things like the frequency of expressing at all. So I go into a lot of detail in my blog, and I want to definitely try and get that out there for other women to read as part of their research into this, and just to try and help other women basically who might be going through a similar thing. It may not work for everybody, but this is my experience and this is what it is. So yeah, I hope to see you guys maybe in a couple of weeks time, maybe after the birth, who knows, but I'm planning on definitely doing another video update and maybe a couple of specialist ones, more specific subjects to do with colostrum harvesting. Okay, bye for now.